Hi, my name is Gracie. I'm hoping that you have spent enough time practicing the moves of the basics as well as the intermediate series that by now they're second nature to you. This is very important because if I were to show you too many moves at one time, although it may impress you, it would not be the best way to teach you. Since I'm not here to impress you but to teach you right, I have prepared this advanced series with the idea of continuing your systematic and efficient way of progressing in the art of Jiu-Jitsu. I'll see you in the mat. In this tape, Royce and I are going to show you the defense against several attacks on the mounted position. Also, how to escape if your attacker is mounted behind your back. Ready to go, Royce?
Ready?
So we're going to be reviewing the attacks and gradually show you what to do in different situations. First of all, we talked about what to do in the movement, which is the arm lock in this position. Ideally, of course, you don't want to get caught on the arm lock like that by keeping your elbows here. That's the first thing you want to keep in mind. However, if your opponent gets you by surprise or is very strong and is able to muscle you to the side and bring your arm to this side, what you should do here is slightly turn your body sideways. Remember, his objective is to get the arm here, bring his hand under, control the arm like this, and then break the arm by bringing it back. But if you slightly turn your body sideways, like Royce does here, like this, and keep your elbow glued to the ground, it makes it impossible for me to bring my hand under, therefore being able to accomplish the arm lock. So if the guy, again, ideally you want to keep your arms down so he never has a chance to catch you on the arm lock. But if he's able to somehow muscle your arm to the side, slightly turn your body sideways like Royce is doing, and then keep your elbow glued to the ground so that my hand does not enter underneath, okay? And of course, at the same time, after you do that, you can bounce your hip a little bit to throw the guy out, and then tuck your elbow in, therefore protecting yourself from getting caught on the arm. Of course, let's do the same thing on this side, please. So if the person is able to muscle your arm down, turn your body sideways and tuck the elbow in. Now he doesn't have the chance to bring the hand underneath anymore. And if you want to bug him out a little bit, tuck the elbow in, preventing the guy from getting for the arm lock. We also saw this one, which is to put the hands on the chest, bring the leg around, and then complete with this arm lock. There's absolutely no reason for you to get caught with the arm sticking out like this, because if your arm gets caught, you're asking for the arm lock. So once again, your elbow should be here. Wait for your opponent's attack, so when he tries to make a move, you then work on your escape. But sometimes you might get caught in this position for whatever reason, and he was able to force the arm to get to this position. And if you find yourself here, then you want to hold on to your collar, ensuring a good grip on the collar. Look at Royce's hand. He's grabbing the wrist like this on the collar, maybe even reinforcing with this hand, so that at this point, I'm going to have to struggle to bring my body back, carrying his arm with me. While your attacker is trying to pull your arm back, one thing you can do is get a hold of his leg, push the leg out, clear your head out of the way, going over the leg, and now come over this way here. Okay. Good. Once again, please. So let's say the guy was able to get to this, trapped your arm in here, brought the leg around, and he's now struggling to see if he can complete the move with an arm lock. Once again, Royce is grabbing the collar. If he doesn't have a collar, he can just grab the wrist like this, or somehow prevent me from being able to pull back. What you're looking for is a certain amount of time to give you just enough, opportunity to push the leg out of the way now. Observe that Royce turns his head to the side so that my leg doesn't get stuck under his neck. So he turns the head to the side, bringing the head out this way, going over that leg, and now driving his weight forward this way, coming on top of me like this. Again, Royce, please. Now the guy does this move here. Brings the leg around. If you have a jacket, a kimono, grab onto it. If you don't, find your grip on your wrist. While the person is struggling, use the hand to pull the leg out, head out, Put your head over the leg so I can't bring the leg over the head one more time. He now turns, goes over him, and ends up in this position. All right. There are several other attacks, which one of them, for example, is a person grabbing the collar like this, and he tries to go for the simple cross choke. As the person on top of you places the hand on the collar, you should have your elbows on the ground, and as soon as you start thinking about bringing the hand under, the upward lift should throw him off balance. Again, hoist. Even if he was able to get a certain amount of a grip with that hand somewhere in the neck, when you raise your hips straight up, go hoist, and he rolls me out. Now you keep your head away so that I cannot improve the grip afterwards. Once again, please. So I have the hand on the collar. Hoist turns his chin slightly to the side to prevent my hand from getting an easy, clean slide all the way in. While the guy is struggling to get the hand through, he can now roll him out. Upward lift, and out he goes. If the person goes for this kind of a grip, and now, instead of going underneath with the hand this way from underneath, he tries to go over the top with the thumb inside as he goes for this motion here. Now hoist is going to trap the wrist that way, preventing me from getting a very good deep grip. He grabs my hand, and from here, he can feel which side is my weight leaning to. If my head is on this side, he'll take me to this side right here, taking advantage of the body weight. Sometimes the person does this move and he kind of inches his hand that way, keeping the weight to that side. So hoist now controls the arm and rolls him to the other side. Why don't you go ahead, hoist, you complete the move, please. So from here, if I do this move, he feels the weight and takes him to this side. Right? There we are. Always keep your head away so that I don't have a chance to keep, improve the grip after I've taken out. From here, if I go for this move and I start insisting this way, he prevents me from getting a great grip just because I'm, controlling this hand on my wrist. Now he can obviously feel my weight going to this side, and then take the guy here, aware of the hand so that I can never improve the bite. Yes. There's also another choke here, which is when the person gets the collar like this, the kneading choke as we call it. You bring the hand with the cloth across the neck, pull on one hand, and drive the weight in with that hand. That's the idea, is to go like this, keep the cloth taut so it's really snug around the neck. The bony part should be right here, the knuckle should be right here by the carotid artery, and then I go like this. As I lean the weight down, pull one hand and push with the other. That's the plan. As I try to go for this move, hoist then reaches over with this hand, the second hand right on top, and then brings my hand down back that way. Because what I'm using is primarily my body weight leaning forward, there's no way I can stop him from just bringing it back all the way. I have too much leverage by pulling back this way. So let's go ahead and get a good grip and then pull back. Notice that sometimes Hoist will even tilt his body a little bit, which will increase his leverage to bring my hand back to the opposite side. If I have the hand going this way, he comes in, there's a little leaning on the body, and then he kind of brings it back. Okay, once again, please. Way in. Also, good. It's important that the first hand to overlap mine should be the hand on this side, the same side arm. And then the second hand just comes in and complements on the top. If I use this side here, he'll use this hand first, and then the hand comes back and pulls it back this way. Okay, another variation is if the person grabs the cloth with the thumb inside and has the grip this way on the hand like this. The second hand, my intention now is to grab the other collar and like a guillotine, bring it across like this. So I get a good grip with the thumb inside. The second hand I want to grab here, take this slack out, and then bring the blade across the neck this way. My idea is to bring my elbow all the way down to the ground so that I can choke him this way. soon as I grab the hand on the collar, first hand goes on the rib. The second hand, he brings it over this way so that with the armpit, he can now block my forearm and the blade of my arm from going all the way down. So even if I put all the way here, oh, take your hand off first for a second. Just this hand alone prevents my arm from going down. I can't put enough weight to, hurt his neck. So I grab the cloth, you secure the wrist. I grab the cloth and I start doing this. It just brings the hand over like that. Give it a lot of leverage in this case. I can't squeeze down no matter what happens. The other side, please, hoist. So if I grab the cloth this way, in the second hand, like I said, my idea is to grab this and tie and pull the cloth back. He holds one hand here and the second hand goes over with the arm this way. That makes my arm fall right here into the groove of his armpit this way so that I can't push down anymore. There's a lot of leverage with this part of his arm. Grab here, bring the arm over. Once the arm is controlled, he can again feel which way my weight going to. If my weight is leaning that way, he just rolls the guy out and ends up on the guard this way. So I'm here, trap the arm hoist, bring the second hand over, control the arm here. Even if the guy is really strong and wants to muscle, there's no danger. The arm is very safe at this point. Controlling the arm. If my weight is going to that side, he just takes the guy and goes with the flow. Hoist. Maybe we should show our friends what to do if the person on top, in this position here, is able to sneak his hand into the collar, even though it's not a perfect grip yet, because your head is going to try to prevent him from getting a great grip. However, roll him out, hoist, and then fall into this position. And now he still has a kind of a half good choke. At this point here, hoist, what do we do now?
Hold the collar, leg up, go for the choke. As more that you pull me, more I will choke you. Okay, lock the arm, turn the body slightly sideways and lean the weight on the person's neck.
I see. Once again, please. So the guy's here, has a good grip on the cloth. He's bringing the second hand in, you roll him out. He insists on the choke. He's trying to improve the choke. Bring your hand across the neck. Yes. In other words, the more I pull him towards me, the more that arms will choke me.
Make sure that as soon as you roll him out, not to let go his wrist right away until you get this grip. Leg up. Now I go for the choke.
Great. Also, by keeping the chin to the side like this, and anytime the guy tries to go for the choke either this way or with the hand that way, use the fact that your chin is here to be able to become very sensitive to his hand approaching your neck, so that this hand, which should not be locked into the gi only, should be ready to grab my wrist at any time, so that I never have a chance to really get a very good grip if you can help it. So if the guy's trying to go for the neck, just yes. Prevent it, and now roll him out, hoist. Yes. If he insists on something like this, there's hoist again with the choke. Right. Right. Good. Lay down, please. Okay. If from this position, the person is able to roll you to the side like this, turn this way a little bit, hoist, please. There we go. Turns you to the side like this. It's because he might be thinking about bringing this hand under, and with the help of this one, feed the collar to get a real deep grip with the hand. This hand, as we talked about before, pushes the cloth to the ground, and then he raises the whole body to go for this choke. That's what he wants to do from the top. However, when the person turns you sideways like this and puts this hand over like that, your hand, check out Hoist's move here. He keeps his head down. by keeping the head down, the only space I have is to bring my hand through that little tiny hole. So I can now feed the cloth this way. But Hoist knows better. He puts the hand just like this, making a little wall, so that my hand going from this side, through underneath here, does not have a chance to go through, therefore preventing me from giving the cloth from this side to that hand. Okay, once again, Hoist, please. As a matter of fact, what usually is going to happen is that he's going to put the leg up and try to turn you sideways this way. You turn your body to the side and go for this. As soon as he's turned sideways, Hoist puts his hand down there to prevent my hand from coming across and having access, like I said, to this cloth. However, when he prevents the hand from going across that way, sometimes he gives the person on the bottom might leave the arm open, which would give me a chance to then go underneath this. I now can feed the collar with this hand to this side, put the hand on the ground, and then think about going for the iron lock here. So you turn sideways, he blocks a little space. I now want to think about going this way here. I want to do this. However, if you glue your arm, if you become aware of this, and make sure to glue your arm next to your body, I have not the opportunity to go through here. I lose the chance of going through here. So not only you've stopped me from going through here with that hand connected to your neck, be sure to keep your head down, because if you keep your head up, even though your hand is closing that little gap, there's a huge area for me to go around, and I still have access to the neck. So keep your head down like this. I can't go through this little hole. The elbow is now glued to your body, so I can't go for the arm lock either. So I'm trapped on both sides. Then you're going to say, well, so what? You stay here, but you're still on top. The bad guy now is still on top of you, trying to win the fight. So we now have at the same time to find a way for you to, something for you to do on the bottom, that you can not only defend from my, the double attack I'm doing here, but also force your way out, which is with this hand, Hoist pulls the arm underneath his body a little bit, braces my foot with the hand, like this, and now he backs up his hip, creating just enough space for the leg to come under my knee. With the leg, he lifts me up, and then follows the guy all the way out into this position. Good, once again, please. So this is called the double attack, what I'm doing, because I'm thinking choke, and I'm thinking arm lock. So I put the leg up, which prevents me from being rolled out. I go like this, put the hand on the collar. As soon as he secures my wrist and controls the arm, I'm thinking to myself, if I do this, he might roll me out. So I put my leg up so that he can't roll me out anymore. This is going to prevent me. Horse, won't you bug up that way? My leg is going to prevent me from falling out. I have a good base in this position. So at this point, he now brings the hand under my arm and turns his body sideways. Back up, Horse, again, please. Notice that he's making sure to bring the hand under my arm. Because if Hoist just turns over that way, it'll be easy for me to capitalize on the move and control his arm for the arm lock. So at this point, I put the leg up, he turns his body sideways, bringing the hand under the arm. That hand has a specific objective of trapping the hole and preventing my hand from going through. He closed that little gap, keeping the head down. I can't go through here. And because he's keeping the elbow glued to his body, I also can't go for the arm lock. While I'm trying these two things, Hoist's hand goes into the foot, braces the hand in the back of the foot, and scoots the hip away. Back up for a second, Hoist. Notice that my foot doesn't really move. He's not trying to muscle my leg away, pushing my foot that way. He keeps it here, brings the hand under. His hip, his back is what moves away. Look, he's the one moving back. Now the leg goes underneath this way, and with this leg, lifts the person all the way out and end up in this position here. Great. So he turns sideways, he does this move. I'm going for this. This hand is on my foot, once again, Hoist, working there. Sometimes here, while he's getting ready to scoot the hip away, lift me up with his knee, I could think about saying, you know what? Instead of just insisting and going through with this, I could, with this hand, grab with the thumb inside the collar like this, on the back of his collar, one hand in the other hand. So when Hoist lifts me up, and use the leg to throw me over, and he's rolling my hand, so hoist, I bring the hand around so that when he gets into here, I have a good grip. So I'm here, we put the hand, I block this. Hoist is defending the grip this way, like that, so that I can't go through with this, and this hand is blocking right here. So now he backs up the hip, got the hand on the foot. While I start feeling that I'm going to lose my balance anyways, this hand, in a very last resort, from here, grab with the thumb inside, lift your head up a little bit, hoist, thumb inside like this, and then as he rolls me over, while falling, I want to bring this hand over here, so that I can end up with the choke. However, knowing better than that, hoist at this point, go ahead, hoist please once again. When I grab the cloth, he's not only thinking about the foot, he's thinking of everything else. So when I roll, he keeps the head up just enough that I can't go around. I no longer have the chance to do this move because he's aware of that grip, keeps the head up so I can't bring my hand around, therefore, no danger. One last time, hoist. Actually, let me do this on the other side one time. So from here, as soon as you see that leg up, you want to turn your body sideways to prevent the person from having easy access to this and this hand. Everything is locked in, so I can't attack him from either side. Once he has this position secured, I'm still going to be trying to bring that hand. Hoist now brings the arm under his body, brace the foot. I'm here. He lifts me up. As he's throwing over, he keeps the head up so I can't go around. Because if he forgets and keeps the head down, I will have a chance to do this move. Right. But Hoist just doesn't forget this kind of thing anymore. Which reminds me, sit up for a sec. Which reminds me of one thing. Every time you find yourself in a little tiny bit of action here and there, these are not just isolated pieces of movement that we're seeing here. They're all part of a huge picture. And that's why it's so important that you get each one of those movements and drill them over and over and then put them in context with everything else in the picture, like a puzzle. If we just give you a whole bunch of little pieces of a puzzle, you know what I'm saying, and you try to put everything together at the same time, it's confusing. So you have one area that you work with and then another area. You know, you put all the yellow pieces here and the green pieces there and the blue pieces there. So you work those things and then eventually the picture starts taking shape. Because if you try to guess where the little one goes in the middle of everything else, it's very confusing. So you help your brain and your body to work better if you get yourself the time to just kind of drill a little bit at the time of these positions, a little bit here, a little bit there. So that's why when we show these instruction videos, we make sure to give you just a chunk of information in one area so that you can get that area and just really slice it real thin with as much information in repetition so that you can practice that thing over and over to really be comfortable with that level of movement, with that series of movements, okay? First, we got a couple more moves in this situation here. All right, so we did this. You turn your body sideways. He brought the hand under my arm to make sure that I didn't have a chance for the arm lock. Blocking down here, defending this. Now, I'm on top and I know that he's got everything defended correctly. And I can also feel, let's turn this way a little tiny bit. And I can also feel that he's now working with this hand. I can see the hand working towards my foot, which means that if he's doing everything right, he will be able to take me out. So at this point, when I feel that everything is blocked correctly, in other words, like a chess game, every time I have a move, he has a counter move. Every time I plan on one little attack, he has something that corresponds to that. There's no such a thing as an attack that I may have that it works every time with everybody. Impossible. So every time I try something, he has something. I go here, he has a little, defense for each one of those moves that I might try. Like I said, he's now working on this. I can see he's working on his defense. So at this point, knowing that he's got something to get me out shortly, I'm going to embrace him. And from here, I'm going to bring my weight. I'm going to kind of glue him to my chest. And with my whole body weight, carry him with me. Opening a whole new opportunity, which is to now bring him back and go to his back by hooking that leg. Positioning myself behind his back which would give me the chance to keep attacking him no longer from the mounted position, but now from the back mount position. Go ahead, stay down, please. So I'm here. He's got this block, the hand is there, defending everything. He's not working on the escape. As soon as I see him thinking about this, I'm gonna get a hold of him, pull him back, and go and hook him this way, ending up with the hook on the legs that way, so that we can control. Now that I have the hooks, if he rolls, let's roll one time this way here, I still can stay behind his back. If he goes the other way, see, the legs will enable me to stay behind him and continue a whole new front of attack at this point. Lay down, please, Hoist. Turn sideways. I'm trying to go here, blocking both sides. The hand goes onto the foot. As soon as I feel him doing this, I'm going to pull him back to do this move. If, while blocking here, I was able to bring this hand through and catch the arm this way, starting to, prepare myself for the arm lock. At this point, Hoist is going to turn himself facing me like this, keeping the elbow down, untangling that trap that I had, which is going to force me to go back to this again, have a whole new start, and then try to do this move, which brings him back to square one. So he goes for this, and this. Now, as I said, every time I feel the person on the bottom trying to escape, I'm going to think about bringing him back to go to his back this way and try to hook the leg this way. However, to prevent me from going to his back, he's now going to step back with this leg right here, so I can't pull him over anymore. And now he scoots the hip away that way, brings the leg on the inside, and he's going to try to go either across the side or mount, one of those. So the person is on top trying to attack the arm and the neck. When I'm going to pull him over, he steps back, scoots the body away that way, and try to go on top of me this way here. Right here, Hoist, please. Of course, if I try to mount, he's going to prevent me from by bringing the knee in, pushing my leg, so I can't go over. Then hooking the leg, yes. And then going across, okay. So let's do this one more time. Watch Hoist's leg. As soon as I pull him, he steps back with me. Then he scoots the hip away. Even if I were to go on top of him, he'll bring me into his guard, which is much better having the person in your guard than having him attack you from behind. So it's a good position to be in. Great. Please. So I did this, it turned sideways. I was able to bring the hand under the arm. He quickly turns facing me. Puts me back into this position. Which leaves us one more move, which is when I'm in this position here, we talked about grabbing the cloth like this and using the knuckles like a nutcracker to squeeze the neck. The movement is to go like this and choke the person this way. However, as soon as he feels my hand grabbing the cloth, he brings the arm inside like this to trap my arm, preventing me from having the angle to squeeze his neck with the hand on this side. He traps my foot, controls this arm, and then raises the hip to roll me out this way. So let's do a quick review here on that nutcracker. If the person grabs the cloth like this and is trying to squeeze your neck, as soon as Hoist feels this, he brings the hand in and traps the arm. So I can't push anymore. This hand controls this way the arm. He now raises the hip, rolls the guy out, and we are in this position. Okay, again. This hand controls this way the arm. He now raises the hip. Let's say even though you know how to prevent the opponent from getting to your back by stepping back and keeping the distance, he is still able to sneak his way in and somehow hooks that leg. In other words, you find yourself here now with the guy behind your back trying to bug your neck. We have talked in the past about, the choke, this one here, there's no defense for this move. Once the person knows what he's doing and catches it right, that's the end of that. So you better not get caught this way, all right? However, there is different attacks and other chokes that he might try. For example, something like this, that he would try to grab the cloth and then the second hand squeeze this way. As soon as you find yourself with a person behind your back, you put your hand up like this. Bring your arm up. And the idea is to prevent my hand from going through here. You don't want me to go this way because it would give me access to the cloth. So by keeping this hand here and this hand like this next to your ear, I can't go through here. Okay, so that's the idea. So now I have to go under. And as I try to go under, you secure the arm this way. Once you secure the arm, you can then trap the arm this way here so I can't pull it out. All right? And then you're going to drive your weight to the side. Once again, hoist, please. So from here, you keep your hand next to your head like this, sealing this part really tight so I can't go through. He says to himself, well, I'm not going to go through here because I can't choke anyways. I'm going to go with this hand on the collar. This hand on the collar, one hand on the collar, it's okay because he can't choke you with just one hand. This kind of choke, he needs the second grip. So as soon as the person grabs the cloth like this, you're going to use my hand as a guiding for you to know which way you should fall to. So if I grab the hand this way, is as if I'm pointing your way out. So I grab the hand here. You already know you're going to have to go to this side. While I try the second hand, I strap the arm like this. I can't get my arm out. He now scoots the hip away. And then slowly inch his way out to be able to end up mounted on me if you can. Something like that. One more time, hoist, please. So always, the hand is already here. So even if the guy is going for the choke, control the arm so I cannot get a good grip on this cloth, because back up for a second. So you don't want me to do this move and then have an access with this hand here, because now the choke is going to take effect. So the purpose of this is like a net. As soon as my hand comes under, he traps my arm, preventing me from grabbing the other cloth. Now with this only trying to squeeze this, there's still enough space, there's enough slack on the cloth that if I pull here, he gives him time to resist a little longer. He now lays down, puts the weight on the head. That's the trick. Keep your head down here, leaning this way so that I can't lift you up. The head stays down, so I put all your weight down. Then he kind of squirms his way out. The hand on the knee is to prevent me from mounting. So as soon as he gets to this point, by keeping the hand on my knee like this, I can't mount. But if he doesn't do this, I'm going to mount and get to the mounted position again. When I put the hand on the collar like this, you secure the arm, so I can't grab a second hand on the other collar. One hand only is not enough for me to get a good grip on the choke. Hoist now uses his legs. What pushes his body to the side is that he's using the legs to drive the weight back like this. I can't stop it because my legs are using a hook. I'm busy with this. He now drives this weight this way. And he now starts to scoot the hip away. Look, right. Either mount, or if I try to mount, he's got the hook to keep me up from mounting. Lift him up, hoist. Either go this way, or even if you're able to go on top of the opponent. Now he has me on his guard. Once again, it's better have the person on your guard than have him behind your back trying to get your neck. Once again, please. Always the hand here. Trap the arm, controls the arm, bring the other hand back. The arm is strapped. I only have one hand. And hoist, start to lean the way to the side. Because, like I said, because my hooks are here, he cannot, I can't stop him from driving the way to the side. He can't, I can't stop him from going that way. Some guys think they're real smart, and as soon as you start leaning the way to the side, they're going to put the weight here with this leg. Now, hoist can't fall to that side anymore. That prevents you from falling this way. But although he can't go that way, he rolls to this side here now. And now goes to the side again, this way. Good job. Let's not forget that he only has two legs. So at this point, when you do this, if he puts the leg on the ground, wait, hoist, to prevent you from driving your weight this way, he does not have the hook anymore. He either hooks the leg, hoist, roll this way, please. The leg hooks keep me on your back. Now, go hoist. It keeps me here. Back up, please. So he needs the leg to stay on your back. You trap the arm. He falls to the side, hoist. If he puts the leg here to prevent you from going down, he had to let go of the hook. Now giving you the space to roll out this way. He can't prevent you from falling, and at the same time, keep the legs hooked. Got here. He's going to the side. I put the leg on the ground. He rolls out, controlling the arm here so that I can't improve my position. Stays close so that I don't have the space to get away from him. And then establish the position on top this way. He's going to the side. I put the foot on the ground, he rolls out, controls the arm, goes in here, and he's already on my side. Going with the elbow on the ground and lean across the side on the end. Well, we do this one time, hoist for the other side, please. So now if I change sides with my hand on the collar, he changes arms too. I'm going to turn this way for a sec. Wait. This hand on the neck means that you're going to fall to that side. This hand on the neck means you're going to fall to this side. Be sure to use your legs to drive your weight to whichever side you want to go. Instead of waiting for me to grab the cloth and then maybe taking a chance with me grabbing the other, that's too late now. As soon as the person is on his back, the hand is already here. So the only option I have is to grab the cloth with this hand, right here. As I'm trying to grab the other collar, he's waiting. He controls my arm, and with the legs and the body, he drives the weight to that side. Hoist, go for it. Yes. Either I keep the hook, and now he slides, he's inching himself away. Sometimes he uses the hand to untangle that foot. Look, gets the leg out. Go, hoist. Keep the hip away. The hand here to prevent me from mounting. Either hook the leg and lift him over, and end up mounting. Yes. Sometimes the guy that you're working with is much heavier than you are. Hey, give me a chance, boys. Much heavier than you are. And when you do this, scoot your hip away. He's so big, so heavy that he's still able to get to this position here. Look at the leg trapping my leg. I'm on top, but he got me on his guard. Right, there you go. Always better to have him in your guard than behind your back, okay? So the bad guy's behind your back. He goes for the collar like this. You control the wrist, and then you go to the side. Use your legs to drive the weight forward. Scoot your hip away. Up we go. Aware of my legs so I can't mount. Right? And even if he goes on top, you put him on your guard. Right. Hoist, do me a favor. Come down this way a little bit. My friends, check this out. See that hoist for a second. When he goes back and he leans back this way, he's using the legs to drive his weight to the side. And he kind of lifts the hip up a little bit like this. So that it makes it very heavy. Your weight is all on your shoulders now and on your head. Even if the guy were to try to pick you up, it's much heavier. That's the idea. So that your body being arched this way, being pushed forward by the legs, makes it impossible for the guy to drag you back from the ground again. And then he scoots the hip away more and more, and then brings the leg over, hopefully to end up in the mounted position. If nothing else, have the bad guy inside of your guard. Not the bad guy, you know, the opponent. All right. Not all the opponents. Not all opponents are bad guys. Anyways. So we're here. If the person is somehow gets a hold of your collar like this, and before you had a chance to throw your weight to that side, as we talked about, he's able to bring you to this side here, where you did not have a chance to go to the correct side. You find yourself on the wrong side, as you can see. Back up, boys. Because if I have this hand on the collar, as we talked about, you should fall towards the hand that I'm pointing to, the side I'm pointing to. He got a hold of your collar like this, and he was able to bring you to this side. If you were to turn and slide your body that way, you're actually going to increase the pressure on your neck. Whereas if you go, I'll set this a little bit. The reason you want to go to that side is because when you fall to this side here, scoot your hip over, hoist, you are undoing the choke. Nice, once again, please. So let's make this very clear. Person has your collar like this. When you fall to this side, by scooching your hip away, you're actually undoing the choke. A bit more, hoist. It lost the effect, the tightness is gone. If I grab you on this side, let's turn the hip just a little bit, there you go. And you fall to that side, the wrong side, and you try to turn, scooting your hip away, you actually choke yourself more. All right. Therefore, if I have this hand, there's no thinking. They have to go to this side. But like we talked about, let's suppose your opponent is able to bring you to this side here, where you don't want to be. You got your neck like this. So in this case, you can't go back, one second, guys. You can't raise your body this way anymore because he's very heavy, very strong. And even though you had my arm, you can't just get up and go. He's got too much leverage pinning you down to this side. So now Royce is going to grab the cloth of the elbow here, maybe one hand here, hand on the elbow, or two hands here if you need. Look at me so that your head is sideways, it's easy to escape. He lifts my elbow up and brings the head underneath. Right, like a little emergency exit. And from this position, once again, you want to be aware, so don't let the person mount on you, either pushing the knee with the hand or hooking the leg here so he can't climb up, or end up on top of him, anything you can. One more time, please, Royce. Always, the hand is already waiting for his attack. He got a hold of you here, he was able to throw you off balance to the side. Uses the grip on the cloth. Remember, be sure to turn your face this way so that your head doesn't get, your nose doesn't get scraped by the guy's arm. Turn your head and push the elbow up and slip your head out that way. That's the plan, right? And if he goes on top, he should end up on your guard. Take that sideways, please. Change hands. The guy has to go. Got to go to the grip like this. Throw you to the other side where you don't want to be. Both hands grab the cloth. At this point here, he pulls the cloth, the elbow up, keeping his head nailed to the ground, undoes the grip on the leg, scooting the hip away. Look, at any time, stop for a second, please. At any time, if I try during his escape to mount, he should be sensitive to that. Either with the hand on my knee or with the leg hooking up, because at this point there's no choke. The head is already off the grip on the neck. So at any time at this point, if the guy changes his mind and tries to go on top, he's expecting that. And then from here he goes over, or at least put the adversary inside of his guard. All right, great. Turn around, please. So we saw several ways for you to escape from this position, and let's add a couple more tricks. One of them is that you should continuously be aware of when the person is behind your back, he may cross his feet. If the person ever crosses his feet, if they don't know Jiu-Jitsu, they probably will, because it gives them a better sense of controlling you by, grabbing you and trapping the legs. They think it's better to do this way. If your adversary crosses the leg behind your back like this, you want to bring your foot over my leg and straight the second leg over like this, making like a figure 4. Okay? And at this point, you lean back and slowly raise your hip. Once again, please. So if I cross the legs, you want to bring the correspondent leg. If I have this leg on top, you bring the leg on the same side over, right there. Now the other leg goes over straight. The leg should be relaxed. Yes, the more relaxed, the heavier you feel. And then as Royce leans back, he raises the hip, and that's the end of that. Of course, if I, in that case, change feet, he'll put the other leg over, second leg straight. Again, like a figure 4, relax the weight on your legs. If the person here on the back is trying to choke you or is trying to accomplish a choke, while you defend this, at the same time you're thinking about the legs. And then you raise your hip and then squeeze the guy. It's a very painful foot lock. So if the guy is doing this, bugging the neck, and he crosses the leg goes over, and over you go. Okay. Remember, sometimes when you first start this position, you're going to find yourself maybe rolling with the person this way. Let's go this way. Like this, he goes back. See, my legs are not crossed now, but that doesn't mean that later on he's not going to do this. And if he does, bring your leg over, straight the second leg, and then raise your hip up. Be careful, please. It's very painful. One more thing that we want to show you is if the person has the hand like this bugging the neck, or you have the arm trapped, like this, you secure my arm, and he's bringing the second hand over, you could control the wrist with 2 arms like this. Put my arm right over your shoulder like this. Let me go for a second, Royce. So that you can get a better feel for it. Hold the arm down, and then bending my arm. Let me do some talking, Royce, come on. And then bending the arm backwards against your shoulder. You hyperextend the guy's arm here, works very quick too. So he's going for this, and he brings the arm over, you control the arm. Be sure that the elbow is folded outwards like this, not like this, because you bend, it won't hurt. So you rotate by the wrist, keep the elbow flat out like that. And as you bring this down, it's extremely painful on the joint of the elbow, okay? So the big guy's here trying to bug your neck. You control the arm. Yes. Turn the hand out, pull it down, and then against your shoulder, you kind of fold the arm backwards. It works great. Yes, don't forget the cross foot. All right. Always the top leg catches his top leg. There you go. If you want to use the hand, that's right. Sometimes, you know, if you don't think that you have the angle to bring the leg by itself, use your hand to kind of make sure it's on the right place. Leg over, second gate goes over, straight. Put your weight on that foot and on your back, and then raise your hip on the center. All right. Well, I think that's a good review for some of the stuff that we saw on the previous tape. And more importantly, is to give you the elements of how to defend yourself from those attacks. As always, we recommend that you practice these techniques carefully. And the name of the game is being relaxed and repeat them over and over and over. You want to make this stuff become second nature. All right? Thank you. We'll see you again on the next tape.